I'm turning off my fan for this video. That says a lot. What is up, guys? Welcome to a new video, and today we're in a completely different room again. But as well as that, today we're going to talk Horizon. We're going to talk recycled content. That's recycled content. Now, a lot of what I'm going to say is actually kind of differing opinions to what I've said previously. My opinions change, people's opinions change, mine definitely changes, and this is kind of my view on Horizon's like current state in terms of all its DLC and stuff. That's mainly what we're going to kind of talk over today. Horizon 4 is my game of the generation. It's definitely not my game of the generation, that probably goes to someone else, but in terms of racing games, it's the one I've probably enjoyed the most. I don't know necessarily if I could say I've even played the most yet, but it hasn't even been out for a year, and I can almost guarantee I've got at least 30 days in it. So when I'm saying all of this, just understand it's from a place of love. It's from a place of wanting this game to get better. It's not from a place of just malice and wanting to like hate on the game for no reason. This is a constructive criticism. If the devs are watching this, which I beg they are, this is what I hope will be improved over the next few updates. I think overall, at its core, Horizon is a really, really good game. I think some of the post-update support has been really good, like the collision detection has been a bit hit and miss, but overall the idea and the premise is really good. You know, the custom adventures and stuff, all the kind of stuff that really should have probably been there at launch, but wasn't. But that got added later. I can't complain because now it's there. Class-based rivals and stuff, which that kind of thing, really enjoy the fact that's actually even in the game to begin with. But the Horizon stories, the Lego expansion, I'm going to talk about those two things separately because these are the things that are really peeing me off a bit now with the game. So let's go ahead and talk about Horizon stories. Now, originally, when the game first came out, I had no problem with them rebranding what was Bucket List in Horizon 3. I thought, oh, it's repackaging what we currently knew. Hopefully, they'll add some new game types and modes into the feature over time, etc. But really, they haven't. Horizon stories are the exact same as the last game. But they're just repackaged. With the Top Gear one, there's a bit of narration. That's really the only difference. The actual core gameplay from Horizon 3 to Horizon 4 is the exact same. Now, like I said, I didn't really mind this at the start because I was hoping they were going to add to it. I was hoping that the mode overall was just going to be a bit better. Now we're like almost a year on and nothing's really changed. I am not playing another Horizon story because it's the same thing. The worst part about all this is you can literally go into Horizon 3 and recreate any of the core gameplay elements from these story modes, I'm going to use that very loosely, and you can do them in Horizon 3 because you can make your own in Horizon 3. So all they've really done is take a feature that is in Horizon 3, strip it back so you can't do as much as with it in a sandbox environment. That's one thing with Forza that everyone should know. This is a sandbox racer. By that I mean you give the tools to the community, they do what they have to do, and that is kind of like the way the game is set up. It's set up in a way that it gives all the players the tools to enjoy, and then the player decides what they want to do. So naturally, with a Horizon story mode where they just take away what was in the last game and, you know, limit the player's freedom, I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. I think that's one thing with Forza that really struggles to kind of cope with generally. The game is a sandbox. Whether the devs have intentionally kind of made that so or not, Horizon 4 is a sandbox. Therefore, I think it should be really treated as such, and it should really embrace it. You know, like little things like maybe allowing people to move crates and stuff in the root career. Like, it seems like it's a game that's kind of torn between being a full-on sandbox and a game that wants to be a racing game. It's kind of in between, really. So that's one thing about Horizon stories. It's recycled. It's now at this point boring because we've done them so many times. We've done the same thing over and over and over again. It's just getting a bit repetitive, a bit boring. I don't play through the Horizon stories anymore now. Even if it does mean easier seasonal progression, it just isn't of interest anymore. I've got most of the seasonal cars I want. There's not many seasonal cars they're adding now, which I'm interested in. Finally got the M3 GTR, praise the Lord. This leads me on to the Lego expansion. So with everything I've just said, you know, I've got all the Horizon cars I want. I've got, you know, plenty of progress in the main island. You'd think that the Lego expansion would be the thing that would keep me going, you know, at least for another few months. Now, like I said, the attention to detail in every Forza game is fantastic. The fact, you know, the cockpit view, the way the Lego hand thing moves, and like the little details of the Lego logos on each brick and stuff, very cool. But there's it feels like there's a bit of a lack of focus or something across those lines, because even though, you know, visually it's very well shown off, it's very authentic, I can't deny Horizon as a series and Forza as a series as a whole that it's so authentic, and they've definitely done Lego justice. But in terms of core gameplay, there's really nothing different other than like the smashing stuff, like smashing the bonus blocks and stuff, but that's not something which intrigues me to the point where I'm going to be playing that on a daily basis. It's not the type of gameplay that I'm going to be waking up and thinking, oh, you know what I need to do, go on Horizon to smash some blocks. If that's you, then I don't want to offend you, but like, that's a bit weird. On top of that, you know, they didn't really leverage the Lego license to the point where they really should have. When they said Lego, I thought, oh, so I'm going to be able to build my own house. I'm going to be able to, like, collect bricks and then actually create my own house in-game. Like, that would have been a clever idea with the Lego expansion. Maybe even building your actual own Lego car. Like, I know there's the Speed Champion stuff in there, but how cool would it have been to literally get the bricks and, like, make your own Lego car? Like, why isn't that a thing? Seems like a missed opportunity for me. I was one person, I didn't really want a Lego expansion. I still now, I've got it, I've played through most of it. I can't be asked to finish it because it just bores me. It just doesn't make much sense. And then some of the problems that expansion 1 had, the expansion 2 still had. For example, you can't actually do any PvP races, you know, outside in normal PvP lobbies. You can only do it within the open world. So if you don't get anyone accepting your invites, well, you're shit out of luck. That was an issue that was in Fortune Island, but Fortune Island had a lot more cars and roads which I feel like are more suited to petrol heads. The big drift section, you know, had a lot of really cool rally stages. Although, you know, the Lego expansion has a racetrack, what's the point if you're never going to be playing PvP races with other people in it? Or, you know, what's the point if you're going to be driving around this Lego world with no other Lego cars in, because there's only 3 Lego cars in the expansion and the barn find, which was drip fed, and that's ridiculous because you're buying an expansion and it shouldn't be drip fed in the expansion. I could go on about this for absolutely ages. Again, want to say, this is my favourite racer of this generation. Beats 2015, beats, like, I don't know, Drive Club. This is the one that I keep going back to, even though, like, it has these problems, because the Forzathon is honestly the only reason, really. Forzathon is the reason why I keep coming back, and I've talked about my problems with Forzathon in the past. I've talked about how they should improve that. But the fact there's always something to do in that game, you know, even if it's only a few hours per week. These are the little things that I want to see polished either for the next game or for this game. I'm not sure how long they're actually planning on supporting Horizon for. You'd think with the next-gen consoles releasing next year, you think that that would mean the Motorsport game would be launched on next-gen platforms, and then a year after would be Horizon. So let's hope, fingers crossed, that maybe Horizon will get another year's worth of, you know, just like support and whatnot. For Playground's first attempt at live service, I'm really like, happy with what they've done, but they definitely need to polish up on a few things. Just even things like new race modes. Like, again, like I said, to me, Forza is a sandbox. It's a game where you give the players the tools to play the game, and then they will do whatever they need to do with it. Things like lap knockout and eliminator races and like those types of things, just making it a little bit different, you know, a little bit more interesting, you know, being a bit more ambitious and not playing it so safe is something that I want to see Forza do. But overall, I'm really happy with it. I just think these are a few things that definitely need to change. Anyway, that's been it for me today. If you guys enjoyed today's video, if you did, hit the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys happy, nice, stay safe, and peace.